Well, it looks like authorities may have just found some possible evidence that could help lead to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. We still don't know where she is. It is day 12. Plus, we have Baldoni back in court for more settlement negotiations. And I don't know if anybody's a Charmed fan, but I got a little Charmed tea because I mean, Charmed is my Roman Empire. The drama behind the set is juicy. All right, I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in, everybody. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Everybody in the club, what's up, everybody? What's today? What is today? Today is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody in the club. I hope you guys are having a lovely week thus far. I hope you guys are... let me adjust this mic. It is day 12, so I hope you guys are not entirely fatigued by this Nancy Guthrie gone missing story. I feel like a lot of people are kind of starting to reach that point. They're like at the fatigue level, which I mean is kind of sad to me because I feel like we all want to find Nancy Guthrie, but also at the same time, it's like we're not getting any new answers. We're not getting any new anything. And it's kind of wackadoodle crazy if you ask me. I feel like at this point, we should have some sort of answers. We should have anything. I mean, I'm going to give you the latest updates, but I'm telling you now, it's not a whole lot. Just going to keep it 100 with you. Also, I think today, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like today is Sky and Sully's birthday. I want to say I just looked at the what do you call it? The calendar, and I'm like, wait, is today Sky and Sully's birthday? I think it might actually be. Hold on, I'm checking. Oh, going back. Let's go back to the beginning. Back when all the na 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 na. Okay, I can't seem to find anything. I'm trying to look it up. I know that makes me a terrible dog owner if today is actually Sky and Sully's birthday. I don't know if it's the 12th or the 16th. I want to say it might be the 16th, to be honest with you. I think it's the 16th. All right. Well, Sorry, Sky and Sully. We'll celebrate your birthday this weekend. Happy birthday to Sky and Sully. I think it's the 16th, guys. I don't think it's the 12th. I was like, wait, I was caught off guard. Anyway, sorry. Apologies. I know that was like a strange note to start off on. I was hoping that we had some additional updates for you, but it doesn't appear we have a whole lot of anything. So here's the latest. Day 12. We got a whole lot of nothing. There were some black gloves that were found. There was a ski mask that was found. They were within the couple mile range from Nancy Guthrie's home. It's uncertain if either of those are even connected to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance at this point. Based off of weather reports from that weekend, it was February 1st. It was chilly. It was in the 40s or the 50s. So gloves and jackets would have been standard. I don't know so much about a ski mask, but people wearing jackets and long pants and sneakers and gloves and whatnot. That's not without, it's within the realm of reason that somebody may be wearing that in the evening time, given it's 40 degrees. So I don't know. Nothing new, but these items were found on day 11, which to me is one, very strange, but also a little convenient. No, like, haven't we been looking around her house this entire time, and now suddenly on day 11 we're finding these items? Like, have we not checked through all of this vicinity before, over and over and over, and now suddenly we're finding evidence that's, oh, how convenient, we just found some black gloves? And I mean, to be fair, you could say, well, we didn't know that the perpetrator was wearing black gloves. But also, if you're searching the area, you're going to find, I mean, if you find rope, that would be suspicious, right? If you find duct tape somewhere, that would be suspicious, right? Gloves, that would be suspicious, right? Like you would think these items would have been collected sooner and then later been factored in. Or I don't know. To me, everything about this investigation feels so strange and weird, but it's just also strange and weird that we're now suddenly finding black gloves and a ski mask that appeared to match what the perpetrator's wearing in Nancy Guthrie's surveillance video. It's weird. We also have new surveillance footage of a man, maybe multiple men that are walking through the neighborhood. I mean, these guys are like 5, 6, 7 miles away. And we have surveillance footage of guys with backpacks. One of them's like a bald guy, and he looks like he's either like he's trying to get into his backyard or he's trying to get into someone's backyard. He like messes with the back door. Nothing, it doesn't open. So then he like leaves. I don't know. I mean, again, it's late at night. It's cold. So, like, I don't know, men walking around with jackets and a backpack, are they coming from the gym? Are they coming home from work? Like, I don't know. Like, we have absolutely nothing. We have nothing. Like, all of what we have just feels like random pieces of nothing. We did get a make and a brand for the perpetrator's backpack, which I guess is something. It appears to be an Ozark Trail backpack. Apparently, you can buy it on Amazon. You can get it at Walmart. Like, it's pretty standard, easy to access backpack, which I don't know if that really nails anything down. There were rumors that the family was hiring their own private investigator. I believe those rumors have now been debunked. We have no official statements from the FBI. We have no official statements from the sheriff's department. We have no press conferences lined up. So this is where we're at. Nowhere. We're driving around and around and around. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. My head is going round and round. Where is Nancy Guthrie at? I don't know. How is it that this is all we have from the FBI 12 days in? Like, that to me is crazy. It's been nearly 2 weeks. The public is getting fatigued. I feel like people are getting tired of this story because the story is like our modern day JonBenet. It's turning into a cold case. I mean, we're past cold. Like, I feel like we're hitting a snowstorm soon with how cold this case has been, right? This is a whole grown woman that we've lost and we have no blues clues as to where she's at. Can somebody call up Steve and see if he can help? Can we get Doug the bounty hunter? Can somebody call Dora the explorer? Anybody. But the team that we have in place is clearly incompetent. I don't understand it. This doesn't seem like it's a legit kidnapping, right? The ransom notes came hours after the fact. None of the kidnapping storyline or the ransom notes make any sense. This obviously wasn't a burglary because nothing was stolen but the lady. So I don't know if all they took was the lady, but it doesn't seem like a legit kidnapping because why did you take the lady? Why didn't you contact the siblings directly the night you took the lady? Like, why did they have to find out that the lady was missing? And then after it's reported that the lady's missing, then suddenly we start to send out ransom notes and we want them in Bitcoin, which is digital. You would think that at some point you would be able to kind of track the digital Bitcoin, right? Like nothing about it makes sense. And Harvey Levin, let's be honest, is loving every minute of this media spectacle. Every bogus new letter, he's like, oh, we got a new letter and we have this. And listen, to be fair, he's doing something, right? He's at least trying to put some pieces together. But at this point, like the fact that he keeps pushing down all of these or putting out all of these ransom notes and random letters, I'm just like, Harvey Levin, give it a break. You're an attorney. And like what? It's like Valentine's Day for Harvey Levin. He's like, oh, I got another letter. I got another letter. Like, Harvey, enough. Okay, can somebody call Harvey Dent? Let's see if we can put him on the case because Harvey Levin ain't cracking anything, you know? And then they keep searching the brush around Nancy Guthrie's house. Like, how many times are we going to search the nearby brush? Okay, all this brush is like Gavin Newsom's wet dream, right? Like, I'm just waiting for Karen Bass to show up with the match with all this damn brush everywhere. I don't understand what we're still doing with all this brush. Where are the dogs? Where are the cadaver dogs? Where are the cadavers? I don't even know what a cadaver is, but I feel like at this point we could use a cadaver. Can somebody call up a cadaver and tell the cadaver to come and cadive around the house, somewhere, anywhere? Like, at this point, I feel like we're going to find Nancy Guthrie under the bed. And she was in her house the whole time. Like, we have no leads. I don't understand. Like, this clearly feels like an inside job and somebody needs to start talking. Somebody knows something about something and they need to start spilling now. Call Andy Cohen. Let's get a reunion show going so that we can start cracking the code on some people. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm just like, did they check the basement? Well, I don't know. It took them 8 days to check the septic tank in the backyard. I don't know. Maybe the basement is next on the list. Now we're in Gotham. We're clearly in Gotham City. Like, I don't understand. The dogs lost the scent at the driveway, which would make sense, though, logically, if she walked out of her house that night, got into her Uber, and went to Annie's house. That would make sense why her scent only made it that far, because I'm pretty sure like it's not like she was wandering through the streets. It's not like anybody was dragging her body down the street. She was clearly placed into a vehicle, whether it was the Uber driver that picked her up, that took her and she never came back home, or whoever took her from her home, if we're still believing that she was taken from her home and not, whacked earlier in the night. I don't know, guys. I don't know. There are no basements in Arizona. There are too many rocks. Okay, special KK. The basement was a joke, my love. It wasn't. Nobody was like really believing that she's in the basement. Zack, they're going to find her in the kitchen. They probably haven't searched there yet. Well, they had a tent set up today. They had a tent, and it looked like they were doing something, but they didn't want the public to see what they were doing. Like, were they worried that I don't know. Were they worried that there was going to be another pizza delivery, and they didn't want the pizza delivery man to bring it to while they were measuring the height of her porch? It's crazy. I don't understand. Hear me out. WCW says, okay, now I don't feel so positive about the outcome. Now you don't feel positive? It took you 12 days to come to this conclusion. I'm sorry, guys. We're not getting that lady home alive. Like, she's been missing for 12 days. Something went awry. That's all I'm saying. Something went awry, and the lady is, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if they concluded that she was taken by aliens. I don't understand how we have all of the resources. You have the president of the United States tweeting about this case. You have TMZ, you have Harvey Levin cracking down every ransom note. Like, the FBI is boots on the ground. I don't know. I think local law authority hates the media from what I'm seeing. Well, Octavia, then they should have cracked the case a long time ago. You know what the best way to get the media off the case is? You crack the code, okay? You put together all the blues clues and you crack the code, okay? What is this? How to Get Away with Murder? Scandal? Grey's Anatomy? It feels like a TV show that we're in at this point. I don't understand. It's odd that the three biggest events that were captured by someone thinking it was them and ended up having nothing to do with the case, and they let them go. They still haven't taped up the scene. Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy that they let the pizza guy walk up to the front door. Hello? That was wild. First of all, that the pizza guy even decided to walk all the way up. But again, everything about this entire case is crazy, wackadoodle crazy. And every day I'm just like, where is Nancy? Where is Nancy? If you're watching this, please just come home. Just come home. We'll call you an Uber. At this point, I don't even know if I want the case solved more or I want Nancy home. I'm not sure which one I want, because at this point, I'm just I don't know which, do I have to pick which one that we're going to get? Because it's kind of crazy. Let's see. Oh no. So there are these fake Helen Keller accounts that of people that pretend to be Helen Keller. So this is just funny and serendipitous, but I just saw this. Helen Keller says, bro, I'm blind. So obviously not the entire world is watching, because JLR investigates that there's a tent up at Nancy Guthrie's house. The whole world is watching. And Helen Keller responded, bro, I am blind. So obviously not the entire world is watching. You are watching, Helen. I know you're watching. You're paying attention. Because you can see. I know you can see. Brian Enton said investigators have now removed the tent from the front of Nancy Guthrie's home. So they put up a tent. There was a tent there, and then they took the tent down. They brought in an ultrasound 4K mini kit. Who knows what they were? Maybe they're going to try to retrieve more data from the Nest camera. I don't know. Yeah, they brought a laptop to play the Nest footage, a smartphone mirrored to the monitor, and a DVR or intermediary system. Yeah, it seems like they were probably trying to see how tall the perpetrator is. Again, this is day 12. How are we here on day 12? It's crazy. The neighbors are putting yellow ribbons around the trees in honor of Nancy. Is that to lead her home? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, now they have 10 cadaver dogs. Yes, Brian is good. Brian's good, but the thing is, like, Brian has nothing new to report on, you know? Plot twist, Nancy is behind this whole ordeal. Imagine Nancy's like, you know what? I'm going on vacation. The heck with all of you. Peace. And she's like in Puerto Vallarta or something. Nancy, what? There was somebody on X, and Donna posted it on her story. It was so funny because they posted something. Let me see. They posted a tweet and it was funny. I have to read it, but I have to credit them as well. Oh yeah, so Nerdy ESQ, Nerdy Addict, he's an attorney on, or I'm assuming attorney because he has the ESQ on X, and he put, agents are expected to deploy near Guthrie's residence today, shouting Marco in hopes that Nancy answers back with Polo. Because at this point, we don't know anything. Okay, we have a good clue about what just happened at Nancy Guthrie's home. FBI experts on video imagery and physical science was seen carrying video forensic equipment into the tent. A prominent member of this team has worked other high-profile cases, including the Brian Kohberger investigation. Photos obtained by Fox News Digital appear to show investigators left carrying a diagram with human height. Yeah, okay, great. I put those pieces together just seeing what the information that they brought in. Okay, well, thank you, Michael Ruiz, who's a reporter. Interesting. I believe the expert might have been on the scene to compare physical conditions to the Nest video in order to develop a suspect description. Again, we got this footage on Monday. It's Thursday. It's day 12. I feel like I just fell out of a coconut tree. I mean, my goodness. Nancy went to the Olympics. Okay. Weekend at Bernie's vibes. They have her propped up with the shot of tequila in Mexico. Still praying, though. Thank you, JoJo, for the super chat. I mean, nothing would shock me at this point. Maybe it was the sheriff. I don't know. He seems a little suspect. He seems to have muddied the waters enough. I truly don't know. I'm like baffled and at a loss for words. Whatever. Okay, let's move on from Nancy Guthrie because that's the latest we got, and it's a whole lot of nothing. Okay, let's see. Also, just a reminder, guys, I guess I told you yesterday. So just a reminder, if anybody is local in Colorado, I'm going to be on CBS News Denver. So CBS News Colorado, be sure to tune in live. I'm going to be live, which is in just under 20 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up this episode and then get right on over to tape CBS News. So be sure to tune in. So it appears Justin Baldoni is back in court today. He's, guess who's back again. Donnie's back. So day 2 in his settlement negotiations, his court battle with Blake Lively. I thought that him and Blake were both going to be back, but it does not appear that Blake Lively is back in court today. So it seems like yesterday was settlement negotiations with Blake Lively in her case against him. And today, I believe he's back in court for his case against Stephanie Jones and Joneswork PR. So it looks like they're all doing their settlement negotiations. And so it's all kind of ongoing. I wasn't sure if Blake was going to show up with Ryan today, but it does not appear that we have Blake Lively in court today. It's the Wayfair parties, and I believe this is related to their case against Stephanie Jones, because we saw yesterday Brian Friedman. I mean, Blake Lively left the courthouse in a hurry. She definitely, she was in a huff alone because, that's exactly what your friends and family do when you've been harassed for months on end and now have to face the men that traumatized you. They let you go alone because that's, you're an independent woman. So anyway, they spent 6 hours. It's uncertain if they ever did have any face-to-face moments yesterday in court. They were in 2 separate mediation rooms. So the judge was going back and forth being like, okay, here's what they say. Okay, here's what, where are you at? Da, da, da. Do you understand this? Da, da, da. So it was 6 hours of nonsense. Yes. Friedman said that they're back for the Stephanie Jones case today. Okay. So Baldoni's there. We've seen, we can see Baldoni. He has returned with his wife. Jamie Heath is there with his wife. Yesterday we saw Jennifer Abel was there. So it appears that all the parties are there. With exception for the Lively parties, because her settlement talks ended yesterday. She left. She looked a little pissed off. I just think she wanted to get out of there. I think she was annoyed that she was there for so long. Baldoni walked out. He was all smiles with his wife's hand in hand. So yeah, interesting. Blake Lively bringing those bags to show them she has mountains of evidence. Yeah, where are the mountains of evidence? I'm very curious where the mountains of evidence are. It's going to be interesting when we see her go on the stand come trial, if the judge doesn't gut her case altogether, seeing her go on the stand at trial and cry about, oh my God, his hand touched my lower back. They had hugging circles. They had hugging circles in front of me. His team was hugging. I mean, I can't. I genuinely can't. Like, I don't understand. And he showed me a woman who gave birth to a baby. Oh my God. Like, fuck off. Like, genuinely, when you look at what we're talking about with the news, it's insane to me. It's crazy. Wackadoodle crazy. We'll see what happens with settlement negotiations today. I mean, maybe Stephanie Jones will decide to negotiate with them. Maybe it'll I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The mountains of evidence was under that huge coat, vest, and blouse that she was wearing. I mean, she's just a joke at this point. Like, what an embarrassment to all women everywhere. Like, truly, what an embarrassment. I can't take her seriously anymore with every ounce of merit that I tried to give her. I just can't. Now that we've fully seen all of the evidence, Colleen Hoover, what a coward. Brandon Sklenar, what a coward. Isabella Ferrer, what a loser. Not even a coward, but a loser with her deposition. Jenny Slate, insufferable. Like, all of these people that have flown the coop, none of them seem to be standing by her, but like all of them. Stephanie Jones, batshit crazy. I agree. I cannot. Okay, let's move on to Charmed. Okay, so this is just a little bit of tea, okay? Just because I love Charmed, okay? Charmed show, I believe it premiered in 98, 99, with Shannon Doherty, Alyssa Milano, Holly Marie Combs, right? Iconic show, three sisters who happen to be witches. They discover their powers. I was obsessed with this show. This was my show, and that's why all of the drama and toxicity behind the scenes is my Roman Empire about this show, which, by the way, speaking of throwback shows, we do have to take a moment to acknowledge that James Van Der Beek passed away yesterday, which was heartbreaking. He was battling cancer, so it's not like this was a complete shock, but it is very sad. His family is asking for donations. I believe their medical bills drained them. So love and so much love to his family. May he rest in peace. Shannon Doherty as well. Obviously, she passed away. What was it, last year or the year before? She passed away recently. I believe it was last year. And we've covered her divorce and her husband, who's now contesting her divorce settlement now that she's passed on. It's so sad. But we've heard these rumors that there was all this toxicity on the set. We heard that originally the issues were between Shannon Doherty and Alyssa Milano. Then suddenly, abruptly, after season 3, Shannon Doherty gets fired. She's fired from the show. She's not been brought back in. There were rumors that she was difficult to work with. Again, we know that she was fired from 90210, which was the original Aaron Spelling show that she was on. Rumors were that she was difficult then and she was fired. And then come Charmed, she's a second Aaron Spelling project. And that's why it was a big deal, because it's like Shannon Doherty and Aaron Spelling reuniting, coming together again. So that happened. They bring in Rose McGowan to replace Shannon Doherty. Rose McGowan says that she thought that she was only coming in for like one season. They were going to try to milk it as much as they could, but it continued to have 5 more seasons afterwards, which was great. So in the final season, in season 8, they brought in a new character. Her name was Billy. She was like a younger witch that Phoebe, Piper, and Paige were like mentoring, right? Because Prue died after season 3. So then they replaced her with Paige. Shannon Doherty's character replaced with Rose McGowan's character. And so in season 8, they brought in Billy and Christy, these 2 new witches. And it was like this big battle that they had set up. Big final battle. The show was originally supposed to end after season 7. That was supposed to be the finale. But then the show was picked up for another season because I guess there was the transfer from the WB to the CW and they wanted to like retain some of the audience. So anyway, season 8, and I mean, to be honest, the show after season 4 like really went like kind of wackadoodle crazy, and it wasn't as good. 5, 6, 7, and 8, the last 4 seasons were not that great. Season 8 had its moments, and then the Chris seasons had some moments as well, but for the most part, the show just kind of really went off the rails. But I still loved every second of it and watched every week on the WB and then on the CW. But the Billy, who was played by Kaley Cuoco, who was originally on 8 Simple Rules, then she came to Charmed, then she went off to go do The Big Bang Theory, and obviously we all know Kaley Cuoco now. She's like big famous actress. She was just on Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, and they asked her about Charmed, and I was like, oh my God, I've wanted to, because they've all talked about, and now the cast has collectively agreed, or at least the 3 witches, Shannon Doherty, Holly Marie Combs, Rose McGowan, who played Prue Piper Page, and I call them witches because their characters are witches. I don't believe the women are witches. I love them all despite their drama and toxicity. I love every single one of them. I have not picked a side. But they've all tried to throw out this narrative that Alyssa Milano was difficult to work with, and she was the problem on the set of Charmed. Now, Alyssa Milano has addressed kind of some of those rumors. She's like, yes, it was kind of like high school on the set. Like, listen, we're grown now. I believe she reached out to Shannon Doherty after she was first diagnosed with cancer and was like, let's make amends. Alyssa Milano tried to spearhead like a Charmed movie or a reboot series with Netflix. Like, Alyssa really wanted to make that happen. And it seemed like the other women, for the most part, were kind of on board until more recent years. It seemed like everything was really fractured. And then Shannon Doherty came out and she said, like, Alyssa Milano got me fired. And Alyssa Milano was like, I did not have the power to get anybody fired. We had mediators on set because obviously it appeared there were tensions. So we had like a producer babysitter that was on set. We had mediators that were on set. She's like, I met with mediators. Every issue that I had was always documented and I reported it to the mediators. She brought all of that to the network as like, listen, this is a toxic work environment. Shannon Doherty didn't really seem to have any defense. Shannon and Holly have said that they didn't care about any on-set politics or on-set drama or toxicity. Like, they were just there to do the work. So they weren't talking to the mediator. They weren't talking to the babysitter producer. Like, they didn't want to participate in any of that because they were just there to do their job, right? Whereas Alyssa seemed to be very complicit in having these conversations with them and making sure that every incident that was an issue was documented. And so the network then made the decision to fire Shannon Doherty, I believe, because Shannon was the easier one to throw under the bus because, I mean, she was already, known to have a difficult reputation. She'd gotten fired from 90210, so it was easier to lose Shannon Doherty than it would have been to lose Alyssa Milano. And arguably, they were both 2 big names anchoring the show at the time. Rose McGowan was also a pretty, up and coming big star, a notable name at the time. She had Scream, and so she was somebody that people were familiar with. And so it made sense to bring her into the show to kind of be another big name to try and carry the show on, which the show continued on after Shannon Doherty exited for 5 more successful seasons. So before Shannon Doherty passed away, she'd made it clear that Alyssa is the one that got her fired. And her team at the time, Shannon's team at the time, said, say it was your decision, because if it comes out that you were fired from another Aaron Spelling show, your reputation and your career may not recover from that. And so at the time, the statement was that Shannon was leaving because she didn't feel creatively challenged and she wanted to pursue other projects. So all of that, fast forward, there was some beef at this MegaCon a couple of years ago in Orlando, and Rose, Shannon, and Holly all did a panel together, and then Alyssa Milano did her own separate Charmed panel. And there was beef because Alyssa's like, anybody talking about this now, she's like, first of all, it's been like 20 years. And like the fact that people still talk about their negative experiences on Charmed, despite how successful it was, is crazy to me. She's like, anybody's retelling of these stories is revisionist history. Like, we all made mistakes. Everything was documented. We had attorneys, there was the network, like everything. There were mediators, there was a producer babysitter. Alyssa's like, here's everything. And that was a long time ago. I've since moved on from that. I've apologized for that. I've tried to correct any bad behavior. I've taken accountability for my own behavior. Like, she was like, I'm sick of this. Like, I've taken accountability and you guys are still throwing me under the bus. They were all very firm. Like, no, like they were just, they really cast her as the villain and all of that. And I was always like, but she always had a good relationship with the crew afterwards. Like, she would do barbecues with them. Like, Alyssa seemed to have a good relationship with everyone. And it seemed like the other 3 women, once they left the show, they didn't have as good of a relationship, except for Holly Marie Combs, who's now close with Brian Cause, who played Leo, and Drew Fuller, who played Chris. And they now have the Rewatch podcast together that Shannon had joined right before she had passed away. So Kaley Cuoco was on Armchair Expert, and she, like I said, played Billy, main character, season 8, final season. And she has nothing but nice things to say about Alyssa Milano. Nothing but absolutely nice things to say about Alyssa Milano. She's like, the first time I ever met them was when they were doing gallery shoots, which was like the promo photo shoot for the new season. She's like, they were all already there doing their photos. They were on their lunch break. I got brought in because she was the new girl, season 8. And she was like, and it was weird. It's like walking in on a family dinner, right? Because this is their family. They've been doing this show for 8 seasons. And she's like, when I got there, Alyssa Milano immediately, and she's like, I will always tell this story. I have the clips on my Instagram, No Filter with Zack, or Zack Peter on TikTok. And you can watch the clips for yourself. She says that she'll never forget that experience because Alyssa Milano came up to her and made her feel so welcome. She said throughout the filming of season 8, Alyssa Milano was great. She had her Chihuahua, she had all these pets, and she was just a delight to work with. And so she said that first day when Kaley came onto the gallery shoot, which was when they were doing photos before they'd even filmed the show together, first day she'd ever met them. And she's just like, Rose, not so much. She's like, to this day, I don't even know if Rose ever liked me. So it seems like she did not have a great experience working with Rose McGowan, but she had a lovely experience working with Alyssa Milano, which is interesting. You know, it's interesting. You never get me fired. I'm never forgetting that. I mean, listen, but you have to, did she get her fired? Like, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Like, it was a network decision. There were clearly tensions on the set. It had gotten so bad that it appeared that the network and the producers, you know, had to make a call. And the call that they made was to get rid of Shannon rather than get rid of Alyssa. Kaley had nice things to say about Alyssa, only nice things to say, like praising Alyssa and talking about how great she was and how she'll never forget how Alyssa was so welcoming in her, you know, joining this show that had been established for 8 years. Rose was just the new girl on the show and probably knew what was up with Alyssa. Rose was the new girl in season 4. We're talking season 8. That's 5 seasons later. So Alyssa being welcoming to Kaley doesn't mean that she could not have also been a terror to Shannon. Both can be true. Or, yes, I'm not negating that Alyssa didn't have problems with Rose and didn't have problems with Shannon, but I'm also saying it's completely possible, given Shannon's history and reputation, and now given Kaley's account of her experience with Rose, that Shannon and Rose are not innocent either. That it wasn't just Alyssa, but that they collectively were all toxic and it was all drama and it was high school. So I think personalities don't mesh well, but I think it's unfair to throw it all off onto Alyssa. How? Because we've never heard of Alyssa having any other trouble on any other set in the past, right? In all the years that she's been in Hollywood. Shannon has had a number of issues, right? Rose McGowan also been known to have issues on set. So Shannon did have a rep. That's what I mean. Rose speaks her mind. Yeah, and listen, sometimes somebody that speaks their mind can cause some drama, right? Or can trigger people. So I think it was an issue of differing personalities, but I think it's unfair to completely blame Alyssa and throw her under the bus. I think Rose should have, and Rose has never taken accountability for being toxic on the set, and Shannon has never taken accountability for being toxic on the set, and Holly has never taken accountability for being toxic on the set. However, Alyssa has. She said in a number of interviews, she wrote about it in her book where she talked about, listen, I wasn't perfect. And so when I look at that, I look at Alyssa, the statement that she made at MegaCon, which I thought was very nice. So I think Alyssa has grown. I think she was toxic, but I think she's grown. And I think Shannon and Rose had a reputation of their own and also contributed to that toxicity. Okay, I do have to run because I have to tape CBS News in CBS News Colorado in like 2 minutes. Okay. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Subscribe. Hit the like button on the way out. Sign up for Supercast if you want ad-free episodes and bonus episodes and fun bonus content. We had a fun Zoom last night. We have Zoom happy hours on Wednesday evenings so you can join. We spill the tea. We drink. We have fun. We talk crazy conspiracy theories. It's always a good time. So join on Supercast, No Filter, all access on Supercast. And be sure to tune in if you are in Colorado. Tune into CBS News. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I got to go. Ciao for now. Bye.